Hello everyone. Today we will discuss a very important topic, metformin. It comes under the classification of biogonides. There are two drugs under this classification. One is fenformin and another is metformin. These two drugs were introduced in the year 1950s. These are preferred agent for obese patients as these are weight neutral, and sometimes these drugs may cause weight loss. But because of the higher risk of lactic acidosis, fenformin has been banned in India since 2003. Therefore, metformin is the only biogonide which we are using nowadays clinically. So metformin is used in a patient of type 2 diabetes mellitus. This is a first line therapy. It can be given alone or in the combination with other anti-diabetic agents. Metformin can cause maximum reduction in HbA1c levels. Metformin protects against the vascular complication. It can be macrovascular as well as microvascular complications of diabetes. As we know, diabetes damages both large blood vessel and small blood vessels. Large blood vessels complication include heart attack, stroke, peripheral artery disease, and small vessel complications can be retinopathy, nephropathy, neuropathy. So metformin has shown benefits in reducing progression of these complications, particularly the cardiovascular disease. So metformin can protect against vascular complication. It can be macrovascular complication as well as microvascular complications. So coming to the next important point, why does metformin not produce hypoglycemia? As we know, most anti-diabetic drugs, they reduce the blood glucose by increasing the insulin concentration. But metformin does not stimulate pancreatic beta cells. Instead, it only improves the action of insulin already present in the body. Or in simple words, we can say that metformin does not produce more insulin. It only makes existing insulin work better. That is, we can understand these drugs. These drugs do not cause hypoglycemia because these are not increasing the serum insulin concentration, or bigonides do not affect insulin release, they improve the sensitivity to insulin. Or we can say that metformin is the first line drug for type 2 diabetes mellitus because it reduces blood glucose without causing insulin release. It only makes the body existing insulin work better. Now coming to the mechanism of action. So biogonide is the AMPK activator. What is this? It activates the enzyme AMPK, means AMP dependent protein kinase, or we can say AMP activated protein kinase. It is also known as 5-adenosine monophosphate activated protein kinase. So this is the figure summarizing the metformin mechanism of action. We will discuss all these points in details. Just briefly summarize what is written here. So it can decrease hepatic glucose production. This is the major action. Or it can increase peripheral glucose utilization in skeletal muscles and adipose tissue. Also increases fatty acid oxidation and decreases the lipogenesis. It can decrease intestinal absorption of glucose, and it increases the anaerobic glycolysis. How metformin does all this mechanism? By the activation of AMPK. And what is AMPK? AMP activated protein kinase. So proceeding further, so starting with the mechanism of action. So very first step is the activation of AMPK, AMP activated protein kinase. So AMPK जो होता है एनर्जी सेंसर होता है सेल का. Whenever it is sensitizing that energy of cells is becoming low, so it will activate the AMPK. How? Because biggest energy consuming process जो है वो ग्लूकोनियोजेनेसिस होता है. Therefore AMPK सप्रेस करता है ग्लूकोनियोजेनेसिस को. But why does AMPK activated? Because metformin partially inhibit करता है माइटोकॉन्ड्रियल रेस्पिरेटरी चेन कॉम्प्लेक्स 1 को. नॉर्मली माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया एटीपी प्रोड्यूस करता है और मेटफॉर्मिन इस एटीपी को डिक्रीज कर देता है. अब एटीपी डिक्रीज होगा तो एएमपी इंक्रीज होगा और हाई एएमपी एक्टिवेट करेगा एएमपीके को. Summarizing the whole process. So how metformin will act? Metformin will reduce the ATP production, which will further result in increasing AMP. AMP leads to activation of AMPK, which leads to beginning of all the metabolic effects. So metformin will lead to decreased hepatic gluconeogenesis, or we can say it will suppress hepatic gluconeogenesis and glucose output from liver. It is the most important mechanism of metformin. So normally liver जो है continuously glucose produce करता है, and how it will produce glucose? By the help of gluconeogenesis and glycogenolysis. Even when we are sleeping or fasting, liver continuously release करता है ग्लूकोज को ब्लड में. बट टाइप 2 डायबिटीज में क्या होता है, लिवर जो है ओवर एक्टिव हो जाता है. Therefore metformin will suppress its hepatic glucose output, which leads to AMPK activation, and liver will reduce the glucose production and less glucose will enter the blood. Let's briefly revise what are the two terms gluconeogenesis and glycogenolysis. So gluconeogenesis, gluco means glucose and neo means new, genesis means formation. So in gluconeogenesis there is formation of new glucose from amino acid, lactate and glycerol. When liver stops doing this, less glucose will enter the blood and blood sugar decreases. Now coming to glycogenolysis. So glycogen is stored glucose. When liver breaks glycogen into glucose, it is called the glycogenolysis. Metformin also decreases this process, so less glucose enters the circulation. Coming to the next mechanism of action of metformin. Increased peripheral utilization of glucose in skeletal muscle and fat, resulting in glycogen storage in skeletal muscles, increased fatty acid oxidation and decreased lipogenesis. तो डायबिटीज में क्या होता है, मसल्स बिकम रेजिस्टेंट टू इंसुलिन. मीन्स इंसुलिन इज प्रेजेंट इन द बॉडी बट ग्लूकोज कैन नॉट एंटर एफिशिएंटली. इसको बोलते हैं इंसुलिन रेजिस्टेंस. इंसुलिन प्रेजेंट है बट ग्लूकोज एफिशिएंटली एंटर नहीं कर पा रहा है. तो मेटफॉर्मिन क्या करेगा, इंसुलिन सेंसिटिविटी को इम्प्रूव करेगा. द सेम अमाउंट ऑफ इंसुलिन which is present in the body now works much better. So glucose enters muscle easily and blood glucose decreases. So what happens inside the muscle? More glucose enters the muscle. That glucose is stored at glycogen and glycogen storage increases. But why this storage is useful? Glucose gets safely stored inside muscle and now blood glucose therefore falls. There is increased fatty acid oxidation and decreased lipogenesis because metformin activates AMPK. AMPK switch off the fat synthesis and switch on the fat burning, called the fatty acid oxidation. So more fat is used as a fuel. Decreased lipogenesis means formation of fat is decreased. So metformin decreases the lipogenesis. Less fat accumulation occurs contributes to weight neutrality और mild weight loss. That's why obese patient में हम prefer करते हैं metformin. So there is increased anaerobic glycolysis. Why? As we have discussed कि metformin ने जो mitochondrial respiratory chain complex 1 है उसको inhibit कर दिया, but energy obtain करने के लिए हमें एक alternate pathway use करना पड़ेगा, which is anaerobic glycolysis. So in anaerobic glycolysis, more glucose is broken down and glucose utilization increases, leading to the decrease in blood sugar. So metformin interferes with mitochondrial respiratory chain and promotes the peripheral glucose utilization through anaerobic glycolysis. Also, this is the reason lactic acid may increase and patients may develop the lactic acidosis. Normally food जो है वो intestine से absorb होगा, but metformin slows the glucose absorption. So after taking meals, less glucose will enter the blood. Hence, postprandial blood sugar decreases. There is one recent mechanism of glucagon antagonism. So normally ग्लूकागोन का क्या काम होता है? ग्लूकागोन लिवर को बताता है कि और ग्लूकोज प्रोड्यूस करना है या नहीं करना है. तो ग्लूकागोन इसके लिए वर्क करेगा थ्रू CAMP. Metformin decreases this signaling. It reduces the CAMP generation. And without CAMP, glucagon cannot stimulate the glucose production efficiently. Thus, hepatic glucose production decreases. Till now, we understood that biguanides do not cause insulin release, but presence of insulin is essential for their action or not. So first point is metformin does not cause insulin release क्योंकि metformin pancreatic beta cell को stimulate नहीं करता तो does not increase the insulin secretion. Therefore, when we are prescribing the metformin alone, it rarely causes hypoglycemia. Then why is insulin required? Because metformin only improves the insulin action. If insulin is completely absent तो कुछ improve करने के लिए होगा ही नहीं. Therefore, some insulin must already be present. So next point is metformin is not effective in pancreatectomized animals and in type 1 diabetes. So pancreatectomized means there is a pancreatectomy, a surgical procedure where all or part of the pancreas is removed. Metformin is ineffective because in type 1 diabetes, beta cells are destroyed, insulin is absent. So if there is no insulin, nothing to improve, no benefit. Similarly, in pancreatectomized animals, pancreas have been removed. There is no insulin, so metformin become. So coming back to our figure again, metformin mechanism of action. First of all, मेटफॉर्मिन इंसुलिन नहीं बढ़ाता, इंसुलिन की एफिशिएंसी को बढ़ाता है. सो मेटफॉर्मिन, when metformin is taken, it inhibits mitochondrial respiratory chain complex 1, leading to reduced ATP and increased AMP, which leads to activation of AMPK, means AMP activated protein kinase, and this will lead to further all the metabolic effects. First is decreased hepatic glucose production, which is the major action, in which there is decreased gluconeogenesis, decreased glycogenolysis, and reduced hepatic glucose output. There is also one mechanism, glucagon antagonism, in which there is reduced CAMP generation in hepatocytes. Next is increases peripheral glucose utilization in skeletal muscle and adipose tissue. Third is increased fatty acid oxidation and decreases lipogenesis, decreased intestinal absorption of glucose, and increases anaerobic glycolysis. Also, it is not effective in pancreatectomized animals and type 1 diabetes. Now differentiating the metformin from SU. And what is SU? SU is sulfonyl urease. So metformin, there is no hypoglycemia. It means we can say it is euglycemic. It can improve the lipid profile because it is improving hypertriglyceridemia in obese patients. Also, it does not stimulate the pancreatic beta cells. Therefore, metformin is different from sulfonyl urease. Metformin is not related with hypoglycemia, but there are some other adverse effects which are associated with metformin. So they are metallic taste, anorexia, nausea, vomiting and diarrhea, loss of weight, skin rashes, abdominal pain, bloating and tiredness. These are usual complaints, but they tend to subside with time. Next is lactic acidosis. This is the most serious complication but is rare with metformin. और इस कॉम्प्लिकेशन की वजह से हमारी एक ड्रग बैन हो गई थी, क्या थी? फेनफॉर्मिन. There is vitamin B12 deficiency due to malabsorption. So megaloblastic anemia or vitamin B12 deficiency occurs due to interference with its absorption, and it can occur with high doses of metformin. What is the mechanism? It interferes with calcium dependent absorption of vitamin B12 intrinsic factor complex in terminal ileum. So it can be prevented by increased intake of dietary calcium. तो लैक्टिक एसिडोसिस जो है वो फेनफॉर्मिन के साथ था मोर, इसीलिए इसको बैन कर दिया गया था. बट मेटफॉर्मिन के केस में क्या होता है? ब्लड लैक्टेट में स्मॉल इंक्रीज होता है, बट लैक्टिक एसिडोसिस रेयर है. इंसिडेंस कैन बी less than 1 per 1000 patient per year because it is poorly concentrated in hepatic cells. Also, we have discussed that bigonides क्या करता है? Intestinal production of lactate को increase करता है. Bigonides will increase the intestinal production of lactate. How? By anaerobic glycolysis. तो नॉर्मल इंडिविजुअल में क्या होता है कि जो नॉर्मल इंडिविजुअल में लैक्टिक एसिडोसिस नहीं होता, बिकॉज इन नॉर्मल इंडिविजुअल द लैक्टेट प्रोड्यूस्ड इन इंटेस्टाइन इज कन्वर्टेड टू ग्लूकोज बाय ग्लूकोनियोजेनेसिस. और हम मेटफॉर्मिन में क्या कर रहे हैं? इसी प्रोसेस को इनहिबिट कर देते हैं. दैट्स व्हाई देयर आर इंक्रीज चांसेस ऑफ मेटफॉर्मिन. Metformin is contraindicated in renal insufficiency patients because of risk of lactic acidosis. Also, metformin has to be used cautiously in elderly patients or patients of cardiac failure, chronic hypoxic lung disease, hypotensive states, if there are severe respiratory or hepatic disease condition, as well as in alcoholics. There are drugs like cimetidine or furosemide. These drugs may compete with metformin excretion. If they are competing with excretion, means it can enhance its toxicity. Apart from diabetes mellitus, there is one more condition in which metformin is used. Which is this condition? If there is infertile woman with polycystic ovary, or we can say polycystic ovarian disease, which is now modified as polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome, means PMOS. What is PMOS? Polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome, because it is shown to improve the ovulation and fertility, irrespective of the glycemic status of the woman, due to mitigation of insulin resistance and lowering the circulating insulin levels. So briefly summarize the pharmacokinetics. Metformin is taken orally. It is well absorbed through GIT and excreted mostly unchanged in urine. Also, it accumulates in renal failure as we have discussed and increases the risk of lactic acidosis.